Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've been searching for a houseplant that does something, a bit more exciting than your standard green vine, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to learn how to transform you from a nervous beginner into a confident expert. We'll unlock the secrets to cultivating this incredibly popular plant so it develops its signature dramatic, deep blue-green fenestrations. Those are those really cool natural splits and holes in the leaves that plant collectors absolutely go crazy for. So here is our game plan for today. First, we'll meet the Baltic Blue, then we'll focus on perfecting the plant's environment. After that, we'll cover watering, soil, and feeding, followed by pruning and easy propagation. Then we'll troubleshoot from common plant problems, and finally, we'll wrap up with pro tips for expert growth. Let's jump right in. All right, Section 1. Meet the Baltic Blue. Let's find out exactly what makes this specific Epipremnum pinnatum cultivar an absolute favorite for collectors. It might look fancy, but it's a pothos at heart, which means it's super forgiving. Now, if we compare the Baltic Blue to its famous cousin, the Cebu Blue, you're going to notice a few major differences. The Baltic Blue has these slightly broader, arrow-shaped leaves with a stunning, deep blue-green color. But honestly, here's the real kicker. The Baltic Blue develops those coveted fenestrations, the splits, at a much younger age and a much smaller size than the Cebu Blue. The Cebu has more of a silvery sheen and requires significantly more time to mature before it splits. So for houseplant lovers wanting that mature jungle look way faster, the Baltic Blue is a massive win. Moving on to Section 2, perfecting the plant's environment. Let's look at how setting up a solid foundation is the key to massive success. You'll want to keep your plant in a nice, cozy sweet spot, right around 65 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 18 to 29 degrees Celsius. The great news is that standard room temperature is absolutely perfect for this plant. But, and this is a big but, you have to avoid cold drafts. Keep it away from AC vents blowing directly on it, and definitely watch out for drafty winter windows or exterior doors. This is a tropical vine, and it absolutely despises the chill. Next up, let's talk humidity. While it totally tolerates average household air, which usually sits around 40%, hitting that ideal 50 to 70% sweet spot is going to encourage much larger, healthier leaves and way faster growth. You can easily boost this by grouping your tropical plants together, using a pebble tray filled with water beneath the pot, or just running a humidifier. You can actually skip the misting though. It really only provides a temporary boost, and having wet leaves all the time can invite fungal issues. Now, here's the deal. You absolutely cannot shove this plant in a dim, dark corner. Bright, indirect light is literally the secret ingredient here. Without it, like, say, placing it just a few feet back from a bright south or west-facing window, the leaves will just fade to an ordinary green, and they will never ever develop those amazing splits and holes. The plant literally needs that light energy to produce its mature leaf forms. It won't die in medium light, but if you want this plant at its absolute best, lighting is a top priority. All right, Section 3, watering, soil, and feeding. Nailing these daily care essentials is exactly what separates struggling plants from spectacular ones. So when it comes to watering, these guys actually store water in their thick stems and leaves. That means they handle a little drought way better than being waterlogged. Always rely on the classic finger test. Just stick your finger in the soil and only soak it thoroughly if those top 1 to 2 inches are completely 100% dry. And here is a crucial step so many people skip. Make sure to empty the saucer underneath the pot about 20 minutes after watering. Letting the pot sit in standing water is just a fast track to root rot. And speaking of healthy roots, to avoid that dreaded root rot, you really have to skip standard, dense potting soil straight out of the bag. It just holds way too much moisture. Instead, use a chunky, well-draining recipe like this DIY aeroid mix. When you combine standard potting soil with perlite and orchid bark, you're creating a soil structure filled with vital air pockets that literally let those roots breathe. Toss in a handful of horticultural charcoal if you have it, or if you don't feel like mixing it yourself, just grab a pre-made chunky aeroid mix from your local plant shop. Think of fertilizing like a little vitamin boost during the active growing season. It helps boost leaf size and maintain that gorgeous color. Using a balanced liquid fertilizer diluted to half strength just once a month is perfect. But definitely remember to stop feeding completely in the fall and winter. The plant naturally goes dormant then, and it just can't effectively process those extra nutrients. Section 4, pruning and easy propagation. Are you ready to multiply that indoor jungle? This is honestly one of the best parts of plant parenthood. Propagating the Baltic Blue is ridiculously easy. You just follow a few simple steps for water propagation. Find a healthy vine and snip about a 1/4 inch below a node. You know, that little bump on the stem where the leaf meets it? Strip off the bottom leaves, drop those bare nodes straight into a jar of clean water, and put it somewhere with bright indirect light. In about 1 to 3 weeks, boom, you'll see roots. And the best part? Taking these cuttings actually forces the mother plant to branch out at the cut site, making your original plant incredibly bushy and full. Which brings us to Section 5, troubleshooting common plant problems. Even the best of us run into issues, so let's build up your defensive shield to protect your vines. Think of this like a quick matching game, because your plant actually uses its leaves to talk to you. See yellowing, especially on the lower leaves? You're almost certainly overwatering. Let that soil dry out. Is that signature blue color starting to fade back to a standard green? Give it more light. And if the leaf edges are getting brown and crispy, the air is way too dry, so it's time to boost that humidity. Okay, now for the serious stuff. Root rot is the #1 killer of pothos plants, and it is caused entirely by overwatering and poor drainage. If you notice mushy stems at the soil line, rapidly yellowing leaves, or, worst of all, a foul, swampy smell coming from the pot, you have to act fast. You'll need to unpot the plant, trim away all the dark, rotted, mushy roots, and repot whatever healthy roots remain into fresh, dry, chunky soil. Now, the Baltic Blue is a tough plant for sure, but you still need to keep a close eye out for common pests like mealybugs, spider mites, scale, and thrips. Early detection is absolutely key. Inspect the undersides of the leaves and those little joints where the leaves meet the stems. You're looking for white cottony masses, those are mealybugs, or tiny little dots and fine webs, which means spider mites. If you spot any of these guys, treat it quickly by wiping the leaves with rubbing alcohol or spraying the plant down with diluted neem oil. Finally, Section 6, Pro Tips for Expert Growth. Let's unlock the ultimate mature form of the Baltic Blue. Now, you might be wondering, with all this perfect lighting, careful watering, and excellent humidity we've been talking about, are you gonna get beautiful tropical flowers blooming in your living room? Well, the blunt truth, getting this species to bloom indoors is almost impossible. It requires highly specific conditions that we just can't replicate in a house. But honestly, that is perfectly fine. The dramatic, naturally split, deep blue-green foliage is the real prize here. You're growing this for the incredible leaves, not the flowers. Before we get to the ultimate growth secret, just a really quick but absolutely crucial safety note. Like all pothos varieties, the Baltic Blue contains calcium oxalate crystals. This means it is highly toxic to pets if they chew on it. It causes severe oral irritation, drooling, and vomiting. So please make sure to keep your gorgeous vines trailing safely out of reach of any curious cats or dogs. All right, here it is, the absolute best pro tip to unlock this plant's true potential. Give it a moss pole. Because climbing upward mimics its natural Southeast Asian habitat, this is the ultimate secret. When it just trails downward in a hanging basket, the leaves stay in their small, juvenile form. But the second you train it to climb up a moss pole, it accelerates its growth and forces those giant, highly fenestrated, mature leaves to emerge. It's a total game changer. So, as you look around your own plant space right now, armed with all this expert knowledge, what is the very first step you're going to take today to turn your Baltic Blue into a thriving fenestrated masterpiece? Are you finally going to mix up that batch of chunky, breathable soil, move it closer to a bright window, or maybe install a moss pole for it to conquer? The transformation is totally in your hands.